everyone, it's Sarah and welcome to my crochet channel. Today's video I'm going to show you how to crochet a turtleneck cowl. This turtleneck cowl is the perfect thing for a cold day. You can just slide it on, tuck this portion into the top of your coat, and you're set for a snowy, blowy day. It's also great for a man or a woman. And the other thing is, it's a one size fits all because the collar on it is very stretchy and it springs back nicely to the size that you need. So it's a one size fits all. A lot of people call these dickies, but I decided to call it the turtleneck cowl. This is a free crochet pattern on my blog, and you can find that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. What you need to make this dreamy turtleneck cowl is some yarn, and I'm using the Dreamy Red Heart stripes. The Dreamy also comes in solid colors if you prefer a solid color. The Dreamy is a bulky number 5. Now, you don't have to use this yarn. You can use any bulky number 5 for this pattern. You're going to need about 4 ounces of the Dreamy and about 4 ounces of any of the bulky number 5 that you choose. We're going to be stitching today with a K-hook, and a K-hook is a 6.50 millimeter crochet hook. And then you'll also need a needle for weaving in your ends, and of course your scissors. We're going to begin by starting with our slip knot, and then we're going to loosely chain 28 chains. And it's very important on this first initial chain to chain a little bit loose. And the reason is the turtleneck is where we're starting, and when we get to the end, we're going to put the two ends together and stitch them together. But if the chain is too tight, they won't line up. So we want to make sure we chain this initial 28 chains just a little bit loose. Not loopy, but loose. We don't want any of our chains hanging. All right, so we're going to chain 28 chains. All right, so I have my 28 chains chained just a little bit loose, and we're going to begin stitching single crochets in the second chain from the hook. Here's our first chain, here's our second. So we'll put our hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, and go through both of the loops. And we're going to just place one single crochet in each of our chains across. You'll have 27 single crochets because we began stitching in the second chain from the hook. So we're just working across, stitching one single crochet in each chain across. I've stitched my 27 single crochets. I'm going to chain one and turn. And on this portion of our turtleneck, the chain one does not count as a stitch. It's just a turning chain. And so we're going to begin stitching in the very first single crochet. So we're going to be working in the back loops only. So when you look at the top of your stitches, you see it looks like a braid. There's two loops, a loop that's on this side and a loop that's on this side. The loop that's on this side that's facing you is the front loop. The loop that's on the back side facing away from you is the back loop. And we're going to be stitching in those back loops. We're going to stitch a single crochet in the first back loop of the first single crochet. We're going to chain one. We'll skip the next stitch and stitch in the next back loop. Oops. And chain one. And this is the way that the pattern will work for row 2. Chain one, skip the next stitch, and stitch a single crochet in the back loop of the next stitch. Chain one, skip 1, stitch a single crochet in the next back loop of the next single crochet. And we'll do this all the way across this row. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet in the back loop. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet in the back loop. And like I said, we'll do this all the way across this row. When you get to the end of this row, you should end with a single crochet in the last stitch. We're going to chain 1 and turn. We're still going to be stitching in the back loops for row 3. The only difference is we're going to place a single crochet in each one. We won't be doing any skipping. So we'll put a single crochet in the first back loop of the first stitch, and then we'll put the single crochet in the next stitch, working in the back loops of each stitch. Whether it's a single crochet or the chain in between, we're placing a single crochet in the back loop of each stitch. And so for row 3, it's 1 single crochet in each stitch across, working in the back loops only. Here's the front, and I'll flip it over so you can see the back. This is how it should look after row 3. And what we're going to do now is chain 1 and turn, and we're going to repeat what we did on the second row. We're going to always, on this portion of the turtleneck, we're stitching in the back loops only, and we'll go right in that first back loop, chain 1, skip 1, and stitch a single crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet in the next. And so what we're going to do is we're going to repeat what we did on row 2. Always working in the back loops. By working in the back loops is where we get that stretch that makes it fit just about anybody of any size. So we'll just repeat that across. Single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet, working in the back loops only. So I've completed that row, and what you'll do up through row 65 is you'll repeat row 2 and row 3, alternating every other row. You'll stitch a row of solid single crochets working in the back loop only. Then your next row you'll do the single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, working in the back loops only, and you'll alternate those two rows, rows 2 and 3, until you've reached row 65. So this is how your turtleneck should look after row 65. You're going to put the two ends together. I've already done my chain 1. You're going to put your two ends together, and we're going to sew them together with single crochet stitches. So we'll single crochet through both thicknesses, and sew them together. And this is what I was talking about when we began chaining, because if you made your initial chain too tight, it won't fit properly together. All right, and that's very important. And again, you're going to have 27 single crochets, and this is row 66. So you'll go through the single crochet on this side and the single crochet, or the chain actually, on this side, and single crochet them together. And you'll have 27 single crochets. Moving all the way down, sewing them together. Once you've single crocheted your sides together, you'll have a tube. And what we're going to do at the end with our last single crochet, we're going to chain one, and now we're going to be working on the bottom edge of our rows. And what we'll do is we'll place one single crochet in the end of each row. And you'll have 66 single crochets because we have 66 rows. We have our initial 65 plus the one we just did. All right. Now, the best way to find the ends of the rows is you'll notice you have an indentation and you have a ridge. So you'll need to put one in the indentation and one in the top of the ridge, or the end of the ridge, and that will get you to your 66 single crochets. And we're placing these 66 single crochets because that's going to give us the foundation for putting on the bottom part of our cowl. So place one single crochet in that indentation and then place one single crochet in the ridge. And you'll end up with 65 here, plus the one for the 66th row where we joined them together. We'll work all the way around the top of our turtleneck and join back to our first single crochet. Remember, one single crochet in the indentation, one single crochet in the ridge, working all the way around back to our first single crochet. I've stitched a single crochet all the way around the edge for 66 single crochets. I'm going to join to the first single crochet with a slip stitch, and then I'm going to chain 3. The chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. We're going to stitch 1 double crochet in the next 2, 1 and 2, and then we're going to stitch 2 double crochets in the next stitch. And the way this row, row 68, will work is that we'll stitch 1 double crochet in the next 3 single crochets, and then we'll stitch 2 double crochets in the next single crochet. And this is going to cause the bottom of our turtleneck cowl to sort of move out just a little bit so it fits across our shoulders nicely. So we'll repeat this, working all the way around this row. 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches, 2 double crochets in the next, and repeat all the way around this row. There's our 3, and then 2 double crochets in the next. And you'll probably already start to see that it's flaring out just a little bit, and that's so that, again, it lays nicely on our shoulders. I've completed that row of stitching 1 double crochet in the next 3 and then 2 double crochets in the next. I'm going to join to the top of my chain 3 with a slip stitch, and then I'm just going to chain 1. And now we're going to begin making the bottom portion of our cowl. And so we'll be starting here and making it on the front side, and your seam that we made will be on the side. All right, so what we're going to do is in the first 2 stitches we're going to stitch a single crochet, and we're not working in the back loops only, we're stitching regular, going through both loops. So we stitched 2 single crochets. Now we're going to stitch 20 double crochets. And we'll stitch 1 in each of the next 20 stitches. Here's my 2 single crochets, and then I stitched 1 double crochet in each of the next 20 stitches. We're going to chain 2, and then we're going to repeat what we did here backwards. We're going to stitch a double crochet in the next 20 stitches, and then we'll end with 2 single crochets. There was no skip here. Just to clarify, we did our 20 double crochets, we chained 2, and then we began right in the next double crochet to stitch 1 double crochet in each of the next 20 double crochets. I stitched those 20 double crochets, and I'm going to end with 2 single crochets, 1 in each of the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2 single crochets. So just to recap on this row, we did 2 single crochets, we did 20 double crochets, we chained 2, then we did 20 double crochets, and we ended with 2 single crochets. We've turned our work, we've chained 3, and our chain 3 here counts as our first double crochet. We're going to double crochet in that single crochet, and then we'll double crochet in the next 20 stitches. And this is going to give us 22 double crochets because our chain 3 counts as 1, and then we double crocheted in the next, and then of course 1 double crochet in each double crochet till we reach that chain 2 space. So 1 double crochet in each double crochet till we reach the chain 2 space. So I've double crocheted up to that chain 2 space that's in the center, and in that chain 2 space we're going to stitch a double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet. After we stitch that double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, we stitch a double crochet right in that next double crochet, and we stitch 1 double crochet in each of the stitches across. I've brought the camera out so you can see how it looks at this point. Here's the point at the front of the cowl, and this is the back. We've completed this row, ending up with 1 double crochet in our last 2 of the single crochets from the previous row. We chain 3 and we're going to turn our work. And this is what it looks like on the front. Here's the center. And of course these edges sort of curl around because they go a little bit around your top of your shoulder at your neck. Now this is where you need to decide how many rows that you want on the front of your cowl. Now this is row that we just completed, is row 70. I'm going to do 4 more rows on mine, and you'll do them exactly the same. You'll chain 3, turn. Your chain 3 counts as your first double crochet. You'll double crochet in each stitch till you reach the chain 2 space. In the chain 2 space, you'll stitch a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and then you'll double crochet back up this side, chain 3, and turn. And like I said, I'm going to do 4 more rows because that's going to fit the average person. If you're someone who maybe has a longer chest or maybe a shorter chest, you can adjust those rows. Each row will be the same except you'll be gaining a double crochet, chain 2 in the center of each. So you'll have an additional double crochet on each side of each row. All right, so let's go ahead and do the next row. I've chained 3. My chain 3 counts as my first double crochet, and I'm going to place 1 double crochet in each double crochet till I reach the chain 2 space. I've double crocheted across till I reach that chain 2 space. I'm going to place a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in that chain 2 space, and then I'll go right to that next double crochet and stitch 1 double crochet in each stitch across. So I completed row 71. There's my center with my double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and then my stitches across, chain 3, and turn. Now, I'm going to repeat this for 3 more rows, up through row 74. I'll do it exactly the same. Chain 3, turn, double crochet to the point. In that chain 2 space, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and then I'll double crochet down the next side, chain 3, and turn, and I'm going to repeat this for 3 more rows. So I've completed the front of my cowl up through row 74. I'm going to tie off and weave in my end. And of course I'll need to use my needle. And I've got the camera pulled out so we can see the whole thing. And I want to give you a couple of pointers about this yarn. Like I said at the beginning, it's the Dreamy yarn from Red Heart. And I discovered when I wanted to pull out a row because I missed a stitch, I wanted to go back and fix that that this yarn is very difficult to pull out, or to frog, as some say. It's called frogging because you rip out your stitches. So keep that in mind if you're going to work with this yarn. This is the back. This is the front of our cowl with the turtleneck. And then what you'll do, we don't put any trim on the end. We just take it and fold it down. And now we have a comfortable and warm cowl to put on underneath our coat or over our coat with the sweater, however we want to wear it, for those cold winter days. And I called this the Dreamy Turtleneck Cowl. I'm keeping this one, by the way.